Well, um, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Dave Nichols from runEVrun here in Tomball Spring, Texas. Kind of like in the middle between the two places. But anyway, this week's going to be a pretty big week for me. As you can see right outside here, I've got my off-grid solar system that's a total of 345 watts. And I've been using it for the last 3 years. I think I've told everybody about this here, and I've showed everybody video of how it's all constructed and everything like that. And so that's where I am right now. And this Friday, the 29th of November, I'm having a solar system installed on my roof, on the back side of my roof. I'll show you in just a minute where it's going to be. But it's going to be an upgrade from what I have. What I have right now here in the backyard that you're seeing is off-grid. And what I'm planning on having installed by Tesla this Friday is going to be connected to the grid. I also will have a Tesla Powerwall installed. So one Powerwall is sufficient to run most of my lights and most of my electrical items here in the house. However, one Powerwall is not enough to have backup from my AC, my air conditioning. So I'll still be pulling, if it's running during the night, during the summer and all that stuff, if my AC's running during the night, it'll be pulling off the grid. But the plan is hopefully, and it all works out good, is that I'll have net metering will be involved in this, and that's where when you get during the daytime, when you get excess electricity that you're not storing or you're not using, it's put back on the grid. And later on, you pull it back out off the grid and you use it. And your battery is your backup. And ideally, it's supposed to save you money. We'll find out. Some people say they spend more money. Some people that say they spend money, they save a lot. I was talking to a guy the other day, and I just happened to go by his house, and kind of like in the next neighborhood over, and he had solar panels on his house, and so I stopped, and luckily he was in his garage, and we had a 10-minute conversation, and he's telling me all about it and how he loved it, and he says typically in the past, he's had it for about a year now, and he said typically in the past, his bills were, and he's got a 2-story house, he's got a big house, and it was like $900 a month for electricity. I go, my gosh, that's a lot, He said, yeah, and then after I had solar installed, and he says my first bill was like half of that. He said it dropped down to below 500, between 400 and 500 bucks. So he said it was really a big surprise, and he loves it. He says as long as you're in it for the long haul and not for the short haul, he says it's really worthwhile financially. The other aspect that I look at, and I really personally look at it more than I do financially, is the environment. It's helping the environment out. It's using energy from the sun, and that's not, polluting our air and destroying our environment, making our ice caps melt and sea level rises. As you can see in the news, this stuff's already happening. It's already happening in Venice. Water levels are starting to rise, and there are other places that are also starting to rise. I don't have a list right now with me of places that are starting to rise, but they're starting to see it all around the world. And then a lot of the snowstorms that are going on right now, because this is November in the upper northern parts, northeast, Midwest, the northern parts of this whole area, and even the northwest, they're getting pummeled with cold temperatures and snow, and record snows, a lot of cold. And in California, every year, the dry season is getting worse, and the fires are getting worse. And we all know about the fires out in California. They're like up and down California, not just in one area. They're from like 2/3 way up California, if not further, all the way down to Los Angeles area. There's fires, and every year it's getting worse. And this is all due to climate change. So for you skeptics out there who don't believe in this, take a look. Look at the facts. See what's going on. Here in Texas, You know, like this last summer here was like third or fourth hottest summer, you know, in a row. It was like we had 4 of them in a row, and each one got progressively hotter. And they say it's going to continue like this. So, you know, climate change is going on. And so this is why I want this. You know, I don't want the system that's using gas and oil and things like that and polluting our air and all that stuff. I want to get energy from the sun. Now, I know some of you say, well, you know, making solar panels and all that stuff, you know, damages the environment. That may be true, you know, but not nearly as much as the vehicles that we're using and the way we're getting our power, you know, through gas and oil. That's so much more destructive. It's pathetic. And so we all need to wake up and start doing something. So I'm trying to do my part. It's expensive. It's not cheap. It puts a debt in my life that I really don't want. But you know, I want to help sit there and do something for the world. You know, it's not up to the government. It's not up to, you know, the city. Because if you wait for them to do it, we're going to be up way up here with seawater. It's going to be like we're going to be drowning. You know, because another 100 years. I saw this thing the other day. Another 100 years, you know, the way things are going, Vietnam is going to be underwater. You know, I mean, they're already right there at sea level anyway. So another 100 years, you know, 100 years ain't that long. You may think, well, it doesn't affect me, but it affects your kids and your kids' kids. You know, and it will be affecting. And it's, you know, one way or another, it affects you and me right now. You know, with lung cancer and other cancers and diseases and things like that. You know. Infirmities. I'm not sure if that's a word or not, but you know, it affects us, and pollution affects us, and all those cars that are driving down the road, they're affecting us, and you're breathing that stuff in just like I am. So you know, anyway, this Friday, come hell or high water, I'm having solar installed in my house, and I'm going to start doing my part, and eventually I'll have a bigger system. And I'm not getting rid of this system out here, no. I have my system on the house, and I'll have this system here, and I'll be building this system up even more in the future. More batteries, probably at least 2 more panels, you know, for an off-grid system. But that's the plan, and so this here short video is just about, you know, kind of warm up to this Friday, because Friday they'll be here between 7 and 9, they say, and it'll take about 8 hours or so to install everything and the battery. And anyway, I want to show you where it's going to be on the roof, so you'll see a before picture. So let's go out and look at the roof real quick. So as you can see, it's kind of a cloudy day, no sun. I think there's supposed to be some rain today. But these things are still getting energy. And so now this roof right here that you're seeing, this is my back roof. This is actually facing more east than it is south. It's not facing south at all, it's east. But anyway, still that's where they're going to put the panels, and we're still going to get energy and be able to run all the lights and the TV and everything else, computers. So that's it. That's the before picture. And then tomorrow, Friday, we'll be seeing panels up there. It's going to be pretty cool. So that's my roof. So that was my roof outside there, my back roof. And then, you know, there is one other thing I'd like to say to everybody out here. You know, it's brings the thought to mind. You know, is that our HOA here, the Homeowners Association, says that according to their little rules and regulation book that the HOA committee came up with like 8 years ago, you know, it's completely out of date with the times. But the HOA says you can only have solar panels put on your back roof so that the people from the street can't see it and they for some reason I think it's going to take away from the value of the house or by seeing it from the street. That's a bunch of BS. Okay, number one, and number two is. I understand the rules, okay, but it's time to make a change in these rules. And if your HOA has the same kind of BS rules, you need to talk to them or get someone to talk to them. Because the state law here in Texas is, number one, is it was done in 2015, I believe, 2016, somewhere around there, that the HOA cannot stop you from putting solar panels on your house. Putting a solar system in your house. They cannot stop you. It's against the law. They can't do it. However, they still have this antiquated thing that they can dictate where and how you're going to put it on your house, and it kind of goes against the purpose, because we're supposed to be sitting there trying to save our world, and we're supposed to be trying to make things better, okay? And so, like for instance, my house, I get I get sun on this southeasterly side of the house, but I get a lot more sun in the afternoon on the front of the house. Yet, according to the HOA thing, I'm not allowed to put panels, as of today, right now, I'm not allowed to put panels on the front side of the house. And I get a lot of sun in the front side of the house. And so there's controversy out there. And so, after I get my solar panels and everything hooked up and everything's working, then I'm going to sit there and start writing some letters and talking to some people in the HOA and see what I can do to get, do my part to try to get it changed. Because it's actually interfering with your right as a human being and as a citizen of the United States. They're interfering with your right to make improvements to your home and to energize your home, okay? They're still trying to hang on to some, concept that, solar panels are going to make your house look ugly in the front. Well, personally, some people may believe that, and some people, may not, but, what's worse? Your house looking beautiful or the world looking beautiful? Because when the sea level starts rising and your beach property is all of a sudden underwater, that's not so beautiful, okay? And we need to try to prevent this. Some people say, well, if it happens, it's because God wants it to happen. Okay? Look, we caused the destruction. Okay? It wasn't the devil or wasn't God causing, polar caps to melt and us to pollute the air. We humans did this. And it's up to us to sit there and solve that problem. When we first came out with the gas and oil cars and stuff like that, we didn't know any better. But as time progressed, we started finding out that maybe it wasn't such a good idea, but it was the cheap way to do it. Because they actually had electric cars before they had gas cars, okay? A long time before they had electric cars. And electric cars were popular, except that the only thing was batteries were really expensive and our technology wasn't there. But they were clean, they were quiet. But because gas and oil was cheap, they went that way, and society went that way. Well, now, electricity and the technology and all that stuff that goes with it is here. And so now things are flipping, the gas cars are slowly dying and on their way out, and the electric cars are coming in. And if you don't believe it, look around you. 3 years ago you didn't see hardly anybody with solar on the roof up there. You didn't hardly see anybody driving electric cars, Not as much as today, because today you look around, every time you turn around, there's electric cars, There's a dozen different cars out there now that are electric, and there's even more coming, and they're getting better and better all the time, And so, as I saw somewhere, you can kiss your gas goodbye, because electricity is on the way. And that's what solar is, and that's what electric vehicles are. It's all about electricity, you know. And if we're never going to run out of sun power, because if we run out of sun power, then you and I aren't going to be around to enjoy anything. It won't matter. So it's going to be billions of years before that ever comes about. And so anyway, I started running on longer. I really wanted to. You know, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you think it sucked, you know, give me a thumbs down. You know, give some comments, whatever. You know, subscribe to my channel, because I try to get out something once a week. Sometimes it don't happen, but hey, I try. And anyway, this Friday I'll be giving you an update on my solar system and showing you the before and the after, and kind of already showed you the before, but you know, show you the after. And then it takes another up to 2 to 4 weeks, I think, for them to actually get the city to approve it and give us permission to turn the actual power on from the solar system. So it won't like be installed Friday and then we start generating electricity Friday. No, that's not going to happen. It's going to be anywhere up to a month before we actually get permission from the city to flip the switch. But that's all right with me. I'm a happy camper just having the stuff put on. And so unless some catastrophe happens, next video you'll see from me is my solar system being installed in my house. Anyway, with that, take a look at my links below. Do with them what you want. And got any suggestions, put them in the comments. I'm open to improvements. All right, y'all have a good day and don't eat too much. I say I'm not going to eat too much, but hey, I know myself. So anyway, y'all have a good day. All right, bye.